Meet your hosts, two CEOs making a difference, Dr. Stephanie Wall and Hope Jackson. Her story, our story, 1 hour of power. Did you know there's a huge disconnect between what we want and what we go after? As women, sometimes we feel unfulfilled and confused about our purpose. And these are just some of the reasons why we created Her Story, Our Story, 1 hour of power, so that we could connect with other like-minded women from all over the world. So if you are ready to finally feel empowered enough to change your life, come on and join us at Her Story, Our Story. Do you have a story of transformation, of empowerment, of change, of growth? We would love to interview you. Be our guest on Her Story, Our Story, 1 hour of power.
Hey you, Dr. Stephanie Wall here, your transformation architect. Now listen, I just popped back in here again because I know if you haven't signed up already for the Mission Brand New You Summit, oh my gosh, look you all, listen, I don't know what there is I can tell you. I can't give you everything right now. You got to come into the information session to get this information, and where I will be there, me, Dr. Stephanie, the transformation architect, will be there herself to walk you through all of everything. There's so much juice. See, we're not going to waste your time giving you all this information here. No. You got to come into the speaker. Come into the speaker information session. You can decide that if it's for you, but listen. Now, I just tell you one thing. I'm here to ask you, do you want to transform the world? I'm here to ask you, how much do you want to make a difference in the world that you live in? I'm here to ask you, do you have a story that is transformative? I'm here to ask you, do you love your life? And if you changed your life, if you transformed your life, are you willing to use your story to help somebody else to transform theirs? I am Dr. Stephanie Wall, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited, you all, to tell you that there's so many wonderful things that's going to transform not only your life, but the lives of every person that is across the globe that's going to participate in the Mission Brand New You Summit that's going to be taking place coming up in just a few months in March. So come on in. Come in and let your story, your very presence transform somebody else. Go ahead. Be the pill. Be the medication that you've always known that you were, to transform the lives of someone else. Be amazing. Help someone else. This is Dr. Delaturo McNeil says, help somebody else to see it before they see it, so that they can see it. I can't wait. Fire. Come on, share your story. Hey, her story, our story, 1 hour of power. This is Dr. Stephanie Wall, your transformation architect. You know who it is. It's the Tower of Power. Listen, this is a special session. Today, we're going to be talking about the trap of comparison. The trap of comparison. It sucks. It sucks. So we are going to talk about that. Before I even get into that, I have a special video I want to share with you, because I believe, for me, I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks that I use to stay motivated. Let me just tell you this before I even show you this video. There's one of my mentors, one of my dear friends, someone I serve with, someone I work with, someone I work for, who I would say
before I would go out, or if I had to go out to an event and I did something and I felt like I was tapping into my inner them, I said I tapped into my inner you. And they were like, and they literally turned me around. Somebody I honor and respect, somebody of great faith, and looked me right in my eyes and said, listen, you didn't tap into the inner me. You tapped into the inner you, because you are amazing. You are, your greatest trait is your woo. You are amazing just as you are. See, we need people like that in our lives, human beings, to remind us of who we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are great just as we are. Oftentimes we forget that we are amazing just as we are. So I just want to, I'm going to share with you really quickly, really quickly. I promise I'm going to share this with you guys just really quickly, because I thought it was just so very powerful and that I have to show it to you. So give me grace and mercy. Okay, here we go.
Let me speak to that person that feels like they lost their worth and their value. This is a dollar bill. Now, if I go to the store and there's something for 90 cents, can I buy it with this dollar bill? Okay, all right. So if I go to the store and there's something for 85 cents and after tax, it ends up being 96 cents, can I buy it with this dollar bill? Okay, all right. So what if I ball the dollar bill up? Think about it now. Like, I just balled the dollar bill up, like, so it can't be worth $1 now. It's probably worth like 95 cents, right? How much you think it's worth? $1. Listen, y'all gotta pay attention. I just balled it up, so clearly it's not worth $1 anymore. All right, so maybe, what if I step on it? What if I stomp it? I just stomped it. How much is it worth now? Maybe 65 cents, 68 cents? It's still worth $1? Okay, what if I ball it up? What if I stomp on it and then I put it in the trash can and it's in here with some trash and it's around some beer and some gum and a bunch of other nasty stuff, and some guy off the street pulls the dollar out, unfolds it. How much is it worth now? Maybe 82 cents? And come on, at least 92 cents? It's okay, all right, so what if I ball it up? What if I step on it? What if I put it in trash? And then, watch this, I tear it in half. Think about it now, right? How much is it worth now? $1? I could tape it? Whoa. Wait. Wait a second. I just balled it up. I just stepped on it. I put it in trash. I pulled it out. Then I tore it in half. And you mean to tell me I could pick the dollar up, I could wipe it off, and I could put some tape around it, and it's still worth $1? Then why, if this dollar doesn't lose its worth or its value, then why do you feel like you've lost your worth and value? Because many of you feel like you've been stepped on, you feel like you've been pushed aside, you feel like you've been abandoned, you feel like you've been talked about, you feel like you've been abused, like someone took from you, someone hurt you, somebody took advantage of you, and deep down inside your core, you feel like you've lost some of your value. And I am here to tell you today that this dollar still has worth and value, because there are some men years ago who put value over this life. It said no matter what happens to it, it can still be taped back together. It can still be wiped off. And I am here to tell you that you were created and you're born and you're here and you have life and you have purpose and you have value. And though you've gone through some hard times and though you've experienced some depression and you might be wanting to hurt yourself or you might want to give up, I am here to tell you still got worth and value. And there is nothing that can happen that can take your worth and your value away. So what you gotta do now, you gotta pick yourself up. You gotta dust yourself off and you gotta keep moving.
Ooh, was that powerful? Was that powerful? You got to pick yourself up and dust yourself off. I know that seems like sometimes it's simply impossible, but you know what? I want you all to know, let's just stop right here. Because if my co-host was here right now, she would tell us that we should be opening this up in decency and order. So, Father God, we come to you with all that we are. And we thank you for giving you all that you are, so that we can be the best version of who we are in you.
Amen. All right. So listen, welcome everybody. And I'm so glad that you're able to join me for this, Her Story, Our Story, 1 Hour of Power, where we're going to talk about the trap of comparison. Yo, we're going to move through this quickly. It's going to be juicy. And I want you we're going to dive on in to this world of comparison. So you guys know this. Comparison can be huge. It can be a huge trap that can keep us from reaching our fullest potential. It's time to break free from the negative cycle. I know you agree, so I'm going to roll with it. Let's start by talking about what comparison is and why it's so dangerous. In short, comparison is when we measure ourselves against others' efforts to feel better about our own, which in turn makes us feel worse. Neither result does much good for anyone involved. When we get stuck in comparison mode, it can lead to us feeling angry, jealous, hurt, as well as taking away from our self-confidence. You know, I heard a story once, and I use it because I love it. I heard a story once that was talking about, you know, when I grew up, we played this game called Nintendo. And I know Nintendo, they made a big comeback, and everybody knows about it, but and it still has some of the similarities. But back in the day, there was Nintendo. We played Mario Brothers on Nintendo, and we used like a cartridge. You put the cartridge in, and you played this game. But when we played this game, in order to get to different levels, you had to do certain things. But one of the glitches was that sometimes it would freeze. Mario would freeze in mid-air. And right when you're getting ready to get to another level, this is one, they said, you try and get to the next level and you grab onto this little parachute and you float down into the chute and you get to the next level. Well, this particular time, this person is telling a story. They said they got right there and boom, Mario was stuck in the air and they couldn't get to the next level. So they had to do what? They was like, oh man. And their friend said, listen, what you do? No problem. Just pull it out, put it back in, and reset. He was like, oh my God, okay. Pull it out, and then what? When we pull it out, we got to do what? Blow on the cartridge and put it back in there. And that's what he did. But he was like, oh man, now I got to start all over again. He said, no, man, you ain't got to start all over again because I have the cheat code. And with the cheat sheet, he told him, you press one back, X this, X, Y, whatever it was. And he was able to go back and go. And when he did that, boop, 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 put the cheat code in, he was able to just automatically, voila, he's at the next level. Why do I share this story with you? Because in life, we have to learn that we have to get unstuck. In order to get unstuck, we need a cheat code. And your cheat code is your mindset. Your cheat code is your ability to overcome self-comparison. Because when we're not comparing ourselves, we know we've heard that comparison is the thief of joy, the thief of our time, the thief of opportunity. So now let's start setting ourselves free from the lock-in cycles of comparison. So we're going to talk about 10 steps to get started on the path toward our freedom from comparison. So in order to do that, I know you're going to say, Stephanie, there's so many things, but let's start with number one. We have to understand that comparing ourselves to others is totally normal. We are hardwired to compare and to compete. So don't beat yourself up for it too much. Years of wanting to contribute more in life, to end procrastination, to end the fear of going after the thing that I wanted to do most, which was to serve my community. I did it. I made it happen. You see that badge that I used to wear on my chest? It represented me serving and helping people that couldn't help themselves. Becoming a police officer allowed me to make meaningful change in the lives of people. It allowed for me to make meaningful change in a way that no one ever expected me to advocate. Imagine this. There was at a training, there was the last day of the training of our annual training of the year. And in the back of the room was all of the training officers standing up against the wall. And then And suddenly one of the person stood up, another officer whom I'd known for over 20 years stood up and announced that she was going to be talking about domestic violence for that final class of the annual season. As she began to talk, tears began to burn my eyes. I felt overwhelmed. I felt embarrassed. I felt fear. And I felt hopeless. So much emotion was running through my body, and so much so that I eventually just ran out of the room. But I knew that I had to come back in that room, you see. Because if I didn't come back into that room, then they would know that I too was a survivor of domestic violence. So I did. I came back in the room and I stayed there until the training was completed. And once it was completed, I quickly ran out of the room and got into my vehicle, and I was holding on to the steering wheel for comfort, because at that moment I was thinking they wouldn't think that I was qualified. They wouldn't think they had value in me anymore as an officer after they found out about my past as a victim of domestic violence. So I rushed home to my husband and I told him the story, and he then told me the purpose of it all. You see, the purpose of it all for me was that I wanted to help people. You see, up until that moment, I was full of despair and anguish. But after he told me, reminded me of that, how undeniably correct he was. Recalling how I felt when some officers had responded to my house, and I felt invisible. I felt like I didn't even exist. And even in the moment, even after I had been experiencing and shared all that I shared, unfortunately, they left that person there to harm me even more. They allowed them to stay as if I was invisible. So I knew that it was then my job. I had to do something. I had to change my mindset, and I had to do something. And I decided to do this, to be an officer, so that I could advocate for others, so they would not have those type of experiences, so that they would understand their rights, because I didn't at the time. You all, let me tell you, we have an obligation to be better versions of ourselves, because we can no longer just sit by and just wait for life to be. After I healed from my trauma, optimism returned. And I'm here to tell you that no matter what you've gone through in your life, because I experienced comparison. I started comparing myself with people that didn't experience this. They would be in this kind of job. And why I couldn't do anything, because I spent decades comparing myself, decades not fulfilling my life's purpose, because I was comparing my life to what I believed others' lives were like, not knowing there were many people that experienced what I experienced and went on to do great things. So that's just a version. I just want you to be aware that you cannot compare yourself. So let's go over that one more time. Understand that comparing ourselves to others is totally normal. We are hardwired to compare. That's number one. Number two, recognize when you're in comparison mode, and take a moment to pause and ask yourself if this type of thinking is really getting you anywhere or serving you anyway. I was comparing myself. And so many years I would not seek opportunities. I would not seek promotion or positions, because I didn't believe that I deserved it, because I was comparing my past life to my current life. Comparing who I believed I was to who I believed others were. How many of you have done that? How many of you have not gone for a position or a job, or volunteered for something, or served within your church or within your organization, because you didn't believe that you were a viable candidate, because you didn't believe that you were what they were looking for, because you didn't believe that you had what it takes, because you were comparing yourself to what you believed a person that had that particular or served in that particular way or had that particular job. This is how the qualifications that they would have. Think about it. Number 3, celebrate other people's successes without feeling down about your own circumstances or lack thereof. I have a client and she could not celebrate. She wanted to celebrate her sisters. She wanted to celebrate her friends. But every time she thought about celebrating them, it was like it was a shadow of where some things that she believed that she didn't reach. There was some shadows of doubt in the back of her mind. She believed, well, I can't celebrate my friend's birth because I was never able, the birth of her child, because I haven't been able to have a child. It made her think about what she believed was her lack of something. But let me tell you, this world needs a little bit of everyone, and God is always with us. I know you said, oh, she didn't put that in here, but I must share that with you. Comparison is a thief of opportunity, a thief of time, a thief of joy. Don't let it steal yours. Number 4, stop relying on external validation and start focusing on self-worth instead. Focus on building up your own confidence and knowing your value. And separate that apart from what others think of you. I heard it said that what others think of you is none of your business. I love that. What others think of you is none of your business. Somebody, I heard also said that we don't need validation. Validation is for cars. Let me say that again. We don't need validation. Validation is for cars. You validate your car. You don't need validation. And if you want to, listen, I want you to think about, remember, myself and remind my clients, and I have to remind myself, we have to remember those things that we did. We are so quick to go on to the next. We always trying to finish something. Every time we finish something, the end is the beginning of something else, is what I've always heard. But what we forget is to celebrate those wins. I have overcome, and you have overcome a lot of things, but we never celebrated. If you went to college, or you finished high school, or you competed for something and you completed it, that's a win. That's a W. But we'd be like, yay, and go on to the next thing. I need you to be like, girl, you did it. Brother, you did it. You are the one. Sing it. Baby, y'all know what? You and you and you. You're gonna love me. Baby, I didn't say I could sing, but I said I sing in the shower. All right, listen. What's next? Number 5, practice gratitude. Feeling thankful for what you do have in life can help you to put things into perspective and be more content with where you are on your journey. I need you to, and I just talked about this. How many of you, by show of hands, how many of you have had this experience where you have even said out loud, I know I did that, but I wish I had I don't know how many times I say, I know somebody might give me in the past, someone will give me a compliment with something, a compliment about something. And they'll say like, ooh, you did real well with that. And you'll say, yeah, it was okay, but I did better last time. Or I wish I had did as well as so-and-so did. Yeah, but they did it better. Yeah, but I didn't want to follow him because you see how good he was. No. Let's practice accepting compliments. Someone gives you a compliment, your answer is this. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. We are no longer going to say, put a but on it. No, it's just thank you. Or it's, yes, I did. From now on, we are going to put it in perspective and into context. We're going to start practicing gratitude. I'm so grateful for what I did so far. I'm so grateful for today. I'm so grateful for waking up this morning. I'm so grateful for the ability to help other people. I'm so grateful that my abilities, talents, and strengths are needed. Every one of us is needed. Every one of you has a gift. Every one of us is uniquely and wonderfully made. Number 6, stop comparing yourself to others who appear to have it all. Remember, there's usually more than meets the eye, and focus instead on being present in your own life and savoring the moments as they go by. Social media. How many of you, okay, look, let me just stand. Okay, let me stand. Because I must stand up. Now listen. Now see, you might have thought I had on some a whole suit or something. Honey, I got on some jeans and some boots. But let me tell y'all this. Y'all know what I got to come on back in. Let me tell you this going on. Social media is it's wonderful, but it's so fake. It's not real. How many of you have seen those doggone videos where they're showing somebody made a video talking about that like they're on an airplane and like I'm doing things, I'm doing great things, and then they zoom out and these fools is holding up a toilet seat to a window, and so they're not actually on an airplane, but if you don't know any better, you think, oh my God, they're traveling and I'm not traveling. Listen up, folks. We listen, myself included. Now I'll come on social media with no makeup on or some makeup on. I'll show pictures of me that was at a photo shoot, and I'll show pictures of me when I'm sweating and looking dripping all over the place. But understand this: we present the pictures that we want to present. We present the videos we want to present. Do not believe that everything you see on social media represents that person's life. Baby, I wake up in the morning, I got a bonnet on my head. Okay, the first thing I have to grab is these glasses because I can't see. Sometimes I have a headache. Sometimes I don't want to get up. Sometimes my hair is all over my head in the morning. Listen, so I want you guys to understand, real people with real problems or real issues, and some days are not good days. But most people are not posting about that. So I want you to wrap your head around that and give yourself grace and say that you're human, they're human, and don't compare your current circumstances to them or me or social media. I heard it said that we should only be in competition without the person who won yesterday. There was a time when as I was growing in life, and I read books. I wanted to tell you guys that if you want to change who you are, change your circumstances, for me, and I know it to be true, our mindset. I'm going to give you a quick. I'm going to go into, I like neuro-linguistics. I like to talk about neurology. I like to talk about the psychology of change, of transformation. I am the transformation architect. So let's talk about it. Know that think of the mind. Bob Proctor talks about, the late Bob Proctor talks about this very thing, that when we think about mindset, when people think about mindset, we think about the brain. If I told each one of you today, if I said, hey, what color is your refrigerator? You could tell me. If I told you, how does it open up? Does it two doors open up like this, or is it open up like this? You could tell me. If I said, which side is the hinges on? Either way, you would have to visually see it. Okay, my door opens up to this way, so the hinges on the right, or mine on this way, right? That's because we are visual people. Our brains, we have to see it before we see it, so that we can see it, as the Dr. Delatoro McNeil says. And so that means we have to see, we're visual people. That's just who we're, humans. That's how we operate. So let's talk about mindset. And the late Bob Proctor, Gallagher Proctor, they say that mindset, they made it so because they realized people need to see things, so they created like the stick figure to help you with the mind. Because most people think about the mind being the brain, but in reality, the mind is all encompassing, is all these molecules and all the mix. That's who we are. But think of the mind as one big circle, as one big head, and think of a line through the center of that big head. The top part is your conscious mind, your intellect, right? What the action was makes us do what we do. And the bottom is your subconscious mind, where we're feeding information. So everything we talk about, everything we read, everything we write, everything we watch, everyththing we do is whatever we're feeding. Everything we do is feeding our mind comes in through the subconscious mind. Okay, you following? All right. So if you're watching TV and all you do is just watch one reality show after reality show after reality show, then your mind, that's your subconscious mind, is feeding. That's all it knows. And so your conscious mind, that's all it knows. So if you're feeding it all these reality shows, that's not your reality. Your conscious mind is believing that. Your conscious mind doesn't know the truth from a lie. And I love to use the example that Steve Harvey said it once about the conscious mind. He said, like, you wake up in the morning and your subconscious mind, you told your subconscious mind, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. Then your conscious mind is like, it's almost like the supervisor to everybody and they say, okay. All right. Our subconscious mind, it's going to be a good day because we have told it it's going to be a good day, right? That's the subconscious mind. So that's the supervisor. It's going to be a great day. And now the team, which is the conscious mind, groups is starting to roll the thing. Okay, it's going to be a great day. And so therefore, everything that we're moving toward is moving toward us. So now it's going to be a great day because our subconscious mind told our conscious mind to be a great day. And so we start operating. We start doing things that creates a great day. Our conscious mind tells us it's going to be a great day, and so it is. But consequently, if you say it's going to be a bad day, I know that we've done it before you went to work. I know one thing: if so and so say this to me, then I'm gonna say that, and if this happens, I know he's gonna say this today, and then when he say that, I'm gonna do this. When we start doing that, we manifest it. Everything we're moving toward is moving toward us. If you believe it's going to be a bad day, it will be a bad day. Because your subconscious mind is telling your conscious mind that it's going to be a bad day. So you go into the office or into the space with a stank face. You up in the meeting, just calling this bad energy towards you. Be aware of your body language, your words, your action, because the problem may be us, you, me. And it's because of our mindset. Okay, I'm going to get up off of that. I just had to give y'all that because, listen, I'm here for y'all. All right, challenge number 7. Challenge negative self-talk. When you catch yourself thinking negatively about yourself or comparing yourself to someone else, take a moment to challenge that line of thinking and replace it with something positive or constructive. I just told you about mindset. Whatever you guys have heard it. Whatever you think about, you bring about it. Write that down. For my note takers and money makers, write that down. Whatever you think about, you bring about it. Watch your thought. As soon as you hear them, you feel the negative thoughts coming in. I want you to say, listen, I read it in the book, and I can't remember what book I read it in, but it might have been a neuro-linguistic. It might have been many. I'm not sure, but it's one of the books because I read many of them, and I'll share a few books at the end here. But it's all psychology, you guys. It's all psychology. Try this. I promise you, if you try it, you will be like, I can't believe that worked. But whenever a negative thought creeps in your mind, those negative self-talk, if it creeps in your mind, I want you to say, as soon as it creeps in, and something creeping in your mind, and you don't want to think about it anymore, it just keeps, that same thought just keeps coming back. It just keeps coming back. I want you to say this out loud because it's psychology. Don't ask me how it works right now because I'm not sure, but I know that it has everything to do with our brain comprehending what our voice says, what we say. And that is this. If you hear it, some negative, and you want to, I wish I could stop thinking about that, I want you to just say these words. Cancel. From now on, when something comes to your mind that you don't want to think about anymore, whether it be a negative thought or negative word, negative energy, I want you to say cancel. Y'all with me now? Stay with me. All right. Number 8, set realistic goals for yourself. Don't let outside influences determine what you think in your life, what you think your life should be, or what your life should be like, but rather focus on setting achievable and realistic goals that will make you feel good about yourself and build up your confidence. Let me read that to you again. Set realistic goals for yourself. Don't let outside influences determine what you think your life should be like, but rather focus on setting achievable and realistic goals that will make you feel good about yourself. I wrote that down so I would remember that one particular thing. How many of you, if you're not using affirmations, you should be. And use affirmations that say, I am. Start with I am. This is going to sound hokey. I read another book, and it was, in fact, it was a Michelle Obama's book and I don't have it right here. Just peeping around because I want to make sure I have it near me. But Michelle Obama's book, and it talks about, it's downstairs. Okay, her latest book. I can think of the name of the book. We all know the book, but I'm gonna post about it as well. But in her book, she talks about one of her dear friends, whose husband, they used to joke about the fact that he would wake up in the morning, and the wife said she would always hear her husband in the morning talking about good morning, brother, or good morning, something to that nature. And they used to joke about it. Good morning, brother, or good morning. They joked that it was this big joke, but let me tell you this. Think about it. If you start your day out like you glad to see yourself, you have already jump-started your mind to have a positive vibes. Start out with good morning. Look yourself right in the mirror. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Stephanie. Hey, girl. Let's do this, Stephanie. Whatever it is. Now, I personally look in the mirror myself. I may do a little bit more. I might be a little bit extra, but that's who I am. I like to look at the woman like, hey, girl, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be, because I got to say it. Because if I don't tell myself it's going to be a good day, sometimes it isn't. And just like everybody else, I want y'all to know, now I just told y'all what I do. Sometimes I forget to do it. And when I do, it never fails. I too, just like you, have rehearsed in my mind scenarios. And every single time that I do rehearse these scenarios in my mind, they come to pass. So I have learned to, if I'm going to rehearse a scenario, rehearse a good one. Now I'm going to give y'all this. Listen, Les Brown says, never make a point without telling a story, and never tell a story without making a point. So that's the point there. Don't be, for this one, make you feel good about yourself and build your own confidence. By looking and saying those things that you need to say, what do you need to hear? The reality is, in the real world, the way we serve, what we're passionate about when it comes to helping other people, the reality is you do those things, and why is your passion is because it's exactly what you need. You give the world what you need. And oftentimes we give the world what we need in hopes that it comes back to us. So if you're a big giver, you like to receive. If you are always affirming other people, you like to be affirmed. If you give a lot of gifts, you like to give gifts and receive gifts. It's all psychology. It's all psychology. All right, let me get through this now. We're on number 9. As my bishop says, but I'm going to get to this. I'm going to get through this. All right, number 9. Focus on relationships rather than on competition. All right, now, rather than instead of looking for ways to one-up someone else or get ahead of them, focus instead on building meaningful relationships. When our children were younger, me and my husband, we still talk about this. Our son had a really awesome friend named Brian. Brian was their dude. I love Brian. But Brian, I don't know what it was. Brian, we would be in the car driving, to like the football game, and Brian was so awesome. But Brian would say this every time. So they might, if they voice, oh look, I got this new toy or whatever. Brian, no matter what, Brian would say, oh, I got that toy, but I got 6 of those. I got 6 of those toys. whatever they would do, he would one up it. It was so, he would do it so much. So we would say, we would literally make a joke about the fact that Brian is going to one up it. Now, Brian, we know you got one, don't you? Yeah, I got about 10. You know, Brian, but we would beat him to it because we knew he was going to do it. Well, we would wait. So, Brian, you got one of those? Yeah, I got about 10. But this is what I'm saying. This is, don't one up people, just congratulate them. Say, that's cool. That's awesome. Be the cheerleader, but be authentic. When we are authentic, we bring out the best, not only in ourselves, but we bring out the best in other people. You ever know a person that you just you just want to be around them because it's just something about them. You can't figure out what it is. Well, let me be the one, because it's psychology. I told you I'm all about transformation. So let me transform your mind with this thing. You love to be around them because of how they make you feel. Think about it. You love to be around them because of how they make you feel. You ever left a conversation with someone, you think, my God, they're such a great listener. Oh my God, they're such a great conversationalist. When in reality, they didn't say a word. They just listened. They allowed you to finish your thought. They allowed you to just ramble on. My name is Stephanie, and I'm a rambler. I have to work on being a great listener. I have to work on my communication skills. I have to work on not interrupting or finishing someone's sentence only because I'm a talker. But to my fellow talkers, do not minimize that. Do not stop being who you are. Just recognize that you have to work on being a better listener, but not stop being a great talker, or not necessarily a great talker, but don't stop talking because if you're a fellow talker, someone told you talk too much, keep on talking too much. Keep on, but just be aware and respect and honor other people. And lastly, I'll get to the end. Put an end to comparison once and for all by being intentional about finding something unique and beautiful about yourself that nobody else can replicate. Make this your mantra when it comes to comparison so that you can start feeling proud of your own accomplishments, I can't even say the word, your own accomplishments and uniqueness. I used to think that, because I would always hear it, oh, you talk too fast, oh, your voice is too heavy, oh, you too tall, oh, you this, all these things, and I began to shrink myself. I am every bit of really, I keep saying 5'11" because that's how tall I am with shoes on. So I'm going to go with it. I used to, and I'm going to stand up again, you all, because I need you to you can see by how my height here. And I will go to this closet so you can just see my height versus the closet. Okay? Whatever the high closet is, this is where I am. But I want to tell you that I used to shrink. I used to, do this thing here. And my grandmother, the great late Abby Dorsey, she said, do not, and she was a tall woman herself, do not hunch over, baby. Don't hunch over. Because that, you're tall and you're hunching over, that makes it worse. Stand up. Because short people want to be tall. Tall people sometimes want to be short. Average people even want to be taller. Stand up and be the queen that you are. For years, I thought, oh my God, I talk too fast. Okay, yes. I was talking, we call rapido. My late father, Edward Bernard, he also talked really quickly. I could understand him. My sisters get angry. My cousin, Andrea, I call her Andrea. My name is Andrea. She gets frustrated when someone says I talk fast. And I know it's because she was always defending me with it. But the truth of the matter was I did speak really quickly. And oftentimes I was speaking quickly because I had self-esteem issues. So I was trying to hurry up and get my thought out. And I also wanted to hurry up and finish what I was saying because I was always told my voice was too heavy. But let me tell you what the truth is. I'm not too tall. I am statuesque. My voice is not too heavy. My voice is sultry. I don't speak too fast. Sometimes I get excited and I'm excitable. But I can manage all of it. So what makes me unique is all of those things. My voice makes me unique. My DNA makes me unique. My ability to talk to a rock makes me unique. There's other people that have these same abilities, but their abilities are their abilities, and my abilities is my abilities, and so are yours. Whatever the thing is about you that bothers you or is keeping you, holding you back, turn that thing around or turn that thing around. Either turn it towards you so you can see it clearly, or turn it outwardly so the world can see it for what it really is. But I want you to be the best version of you are. All right, so I hope that by following these steps, you can take control of the comparison trap and start living with more peace, contentment, and joy. Thank you for joining us today, and I wish you all the best on your journey. All right, so lastly, I want to give you as an example of how powerful it can be to break free from comparison. Let's consider, I'm going to say my client, we're going to call her Sandy. After going through these 10 steps, Billy started to accept herself for who she was, and she began to focus on her strengths rather than on her weaknesses. So she no longer feels like she had to compete with others or measure up in any way. Instead, she began to celebrate her own accomplishments and the joys of life that were uniquely hers. And as a result, Sandy has been able to live more peacefully and happily on her own terms. Are you ready to make this transformation in your own life? Take action today and start breaking free from comparison. You will be amazed at how empowered and content you feel when you focus on yourself instead of others. Good luck on this journey. I believe in you. You believe in you. At least you should. And as Lisa Nichols says, the great Lisa Nichols, shine your light. Shine your light and shine it so bright. Shine it out there, because your light is, for me, I believe in the Holy Trinity. So I believe that my light is God's blessing to the world through me. And if I don't shine my light, then it will not land on the people that it's supposed to be. And the same is true for you. So please shine your light. And if it's too bright, as Lisa Nichols says, then put on your sunglasses or ask someone to put on theirs. Be amazing. See you next week. Same time, same place, same channel. All right, you can reach me everywhere as Dr. Stephanie Wall. Woo, it's been great. Let's give y'all, let's see what we got here to see how we can end this wonderful day, but be amazing. See you soon.